On this week's episode of What's Up Weekly, a local woman uses her creative talents to keep Bloomington's homeless communities warm.
And it's Women's History Month, and we are taking a closer look at some female-driven organizations around IU's campus. What's Up Weekly starts now.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of What's Up Weekly. I'm Noelle Friel.
And I'm Anna Black.
In honor of Women's History Month, we will be focusing on a different female-oriented club each week of March. This week, What's Up Weekly reporter Carly Rasmussen is in studio to tell us more about IU's Women in Government Club. Carly?
Thanks, Noelle. That's right, the Women in Government organization here at IU is using this month to recognize the achievements of women throughout history. I spoke with the club's co-president to learn more. Take a look.
As February came to a close, March began, and so did Women's History Month. Lucy Newell is co-president of Women in Government at IU, and is using this month to recognize female historians.
She did run for Congress.
But as someone who has acknowledged the contributions made by some female figures, she also recognizes the importance of accountability.
So many of the women who fought for the rights that we have now, maybe we're a little racist, or maybe we're really horrible to LGBTQ people. And I think it's important that we learn from that and why that's not a part of the women's movement anymore and why we can't let that ever be a part of the women's movement again.
Women in Government is an IU club that is aiming to take this modern women's movement to the polls.
I think that American voters are finally getting to a place where they feel comfortable electing women. Even though there's a lot more women than there has been in the past, there's still a ton of work to do, especially if you want to work in the White House.
But what is the reason so many women feel government is not for them?
I think women have just kind of been told for so long to be quiet and to just step aside and let men do the work. Women need to know that they can run for those seats and they're empowered to run for those seats.
Lucy Newell calls this a learned behavior and stresses the importance of language.
It's important to be mindful about what you say and not use words that perpetuate gender stereotypes.
Lucy and the rest of her organization will celebrate the month of March, but they will also continue to work year-round to address the discrepancies for women in government. For What's Up Weekly, I'm Carly Rasmussen.
If you're a part of a campus club that prioritizes female empowerment and want to be featured in this month's series, you can reach out to me at rasmussc@iu.edu. Noelle and Anna, back to you.
Thanks, Carly. Speaking of Women's History Month, a new exhibit at the Monroe County History Center called See Her Run honors Monroe County women in local politics. The exhibit highlights hundreds of women who have run for office dating all the way back to the early 1900s. The exhibit features artifacts, documents, and photographs that document the defeats and victories of women in local politics. Just a couple of the women featured in the exhibit include Elizabeth Bridgewaters, the first black woman elected to the school board, and Phyllis Kenworthy, the first female elected judge. The exhibit is free to the public and will run until September 30th.
A harsh winter brought new life to a conversation about those experiencing homelessness here in Bloomington. One local woman is taking action in the form of blankets. Kamala Brown Sparks was upset when she saw that camps were being removed from Bloomington parks. She decided to turn her love of crocheting into blankets for B-Town. Now over 35 people have joined her in volunteering their time or money to make blankets for those without homes. Brown Sparks says she has a much deeper understanding of the issue, as she once faced homelessness herself.
I was a teenager and I was a runaway, so I know what it's like. I mean, there are times when I slept outside of my school because I didn't want to miss school that day, and so even in the summertime, it gets cold at night. So
blankets for
everybody needs a blanket, no matter what time of year it is.
Blankets for B-Town is accepting financial and yarn donations. To find out how you can help out, check out the Blankets for B-Town Facebook page.
Increasing COVID number means increased indoor dining opportunities around Bloomington. Reporter Callie Lichter joins us at Franklin Hall to ask students how they feel about indoor dining. Callie.
Thanks. I'm out here at Franklin Hall where students and Bloomington residents are enjoying the spring weather. But with warmer temperatures comes changes to indoor and outdoor dining. I'm here with IU sophomore Lizzie Gable to talk about outdoor and indoor dining restrictions around town. Have you eaten anywhere recently where you didn't feel safe, or?
No, not really. If I see a place that's super crowded, I just don't go in. And I mainly eat around campus in my dorm, so.
I'm here with IU freshman Pascal Coach. Have you felt safe going to these restaurants?
Most of them, yes. There are a few that do feel a little like too close calls, but overall, yeah.
I'm here with Kelly Mendak. Have you been to any restaurants where you have participated in indoor dining?
Yes, I've been to a few. I'm actually on the track and field team here, so my coach kind of doesn't really recommend us going out that often, but when we do go out, I'd say for the most part it's pretty spread out and I feel pretty safe and whatnot.
CDC guidelines, indoor dining poses a higher risk for the spread of COVID-19. It recommends outdoor dining, pickup, and delivery as safer alternatives.
You might be familiar with the clothing store Trax here in Bloomington. Well, our in-studio guest today, Emily Regnery, is an IU student who designs clothing for Trax. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us how you got started with Trax?
I actually first walked into Trax my freshman year, October of my freshman year. I walked in poking around as all freshmen do, and eventually noticed that a lot of the designs were really, really unique in there. And as someone who absolutely loved to do drawing and art in general and fashion design in high school, that really piqued my interest. So I walked up to the counter, started chatting with everyone who works there, all of which are now my coworkers. And I kind of asked a few questions about the designer and all that stuff. Come to find out that she was a senior last year, and I wasn't looking to get a job anyway my freshman year. So out of pure luck, came back in August of this past year, and poked my head in again and said, "Hi, I'm Emily. I stopped in last year. Are you guys still looking for a designer?" And they jumped all over it. I brought in my resume a few weeks later after kind of things settled down here at school, and then eventually got the job, started the next Monday.
Wow. Awesome. So you're in the Kelly School business. What has it been like balancing school, your social life, and then also designing clothes for Trax?
Oh, saying it's chaos would be an understatement, but I absolutely love it and I wouldn't trade it for the world, as cheesy as that sounds. I normally work Monday, Wednesday, Friday so that I can have my Tuesdays and my Thursdays really focus on classes. And then I also, in all honesty, Trax is really, really flexible with our hours. Just if you have a test or something like that, like they'll let you off a few minutes early to go study or something like that. You want to make sure that you're sitting down at your table ready to go for that exam. So they're really flexible. They understand that we're students. So I have really great hours, and my boss really understands that it is balance. So it's been tough, but good.
Good.
Yeah.
And so she said you're in Kelly. So what is your major?
I'm entrepreneurship and corporate innovation. And then I'm also in the School of Art, Architecture, and Design, and I'm studying creative technologies and art and design.
Wow. Yeah. And have you ever thought about changing your major to fashion design or apparel merchandising?
In all honesty, no, because I actually want to be a project manager post-college. I don't necessarily want to be a fashion designer. I love doing this, but it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so entrepreneurship has worked out perfectly for me, and I'm meeting all sorts of kids who are in the exact same boat as I am. They have this interest that they're really, really passionate about, but it's not what they necessarily want to pursue as more of like purely creative side of that. So entrepreneurship is that great balance between art and also business, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so both of your parents are IU alumni. So you were kind of born and raised an IU fan, I'm sure. What is it like to now be designing IU gear?
Oh, my parents couldn't be more proud. Not only my parents, but my whole family. I mean, I had an interview a little while ago with actually the one that you guys read before reaching out to me. And when my grandparents got a hold of that, I cannot tell you the amount of emails and texts that I got from every family member under the sun. And that says something, because my dad's one of 6. So I got every cousin, every aunt and uncle. And my whole family, because we're all IU alum. It's been really, really neat for us. Even my friends who don't go to Indiana wear my designs.
That's like when you walk around campus and you see your friends or just people, students wearing your designs, how does that feel?
Oh, I cannot tell you, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I mean, as I was walking in here, I passed a girl and her group of friends one girl was wearing one of my designs, my Hoosiers vintage looking design, which was based off a 90s Rams ad. But that design that was pretty cool. It's a sense of pride for sure. And also it's a whole new connection to campus. I mean, who else, I mean, there aren't many people out there who can say like, hey, I designed your sweatshirt and like have it be true. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite designs that you've created?
These ones for sure. Probably this Indiana rainbow one here. Not necessarily because the design itself was complicated. It probably took me 3 to 5 minutes to sketch up. It's a Roy G. Biv rainbow Indiana font. But it was more the fact that this garment itself is a much nicer sweatshirt than this over here. And it's embroidered, which costs a lot more money to make. And the fact that my boss genuinely believed in me enough to put in that money to say, like, let's go forward, let's get you that nice sweatshirt, let's get you that nice embroidery, that meant more than you could imagine. So without a doubt, this rainbow one here, because of the whole backstory behind it.
Well, it's so cute.
Thank you so much.
And for students, when can they see your newest designs drop at Tracks?
Normally designs come out like every 3 weeks, I want to say. Okay. But with COVID, it's really hard to tell. So I wish I could give you a specific date, but I can't. It kind of depends on how long it takes for things to print at our printer, which is right outside of Bloomington, in Bloomington area, versus how long it takes to get the actual garments themselves, because our wholesaler, I mean, it's backed up, obviously, with COVID. It's tougher to ship things, tougher to get a hold of things. So I would say on average every 3 weeks, but we have a lot of designs coming in soon that are going to be really, really neat. I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome.
I know, I'm excited to look and see. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I know who did this.
Right?
So cool.
Oh yeah, no, it's so fun. I'll be sitting and working or something in there, and I sit at my boss's desk when he's not there, and I will it's the very front of the building, and so people will walk in, or I'll watch girls walk by or guys walk by, and I see my roommates from freshman year walk by, and they always, like, I see them walk with their friends, stop at the front of the store. This was my first 2 weeks working, and this one roommate, I can tell she's like pointing at my designs, and I get a text later that goes, hey, I showed my friends your designs today. I wasn't sure if you were working or not, but I was really proud. I just wanted to let you know. And so, yeah, essentially.
So cool.
That is amazing.
Thank
you.
you.
We asked Emily to bring in some designs, and you've already seen a couple of them. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about these that you brought in today?
Not necessarily. I mean, this Indiana one here, this was an original, like, you see how it's a lighter white? So our second batch that we ended up printing, because that one sold out as my first design, which was pretty wild, that second batch came in and it was a much whiter white on black, and so I don't know, that's my only real addition to this. They're pretty self-explanatory when you look at a sweatshirt, but it's kind of cool that there is a story behind all of them, and there is a business itself that's more than just a business. We're really, really close at Tracks, which is cool.
Sure.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Thank you so much again for coming in today and joining us for this interview. It was so nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was so nice to meet you guys.
And coming up, an iconic actor and stand-up comedian voices his plans to return to the stage.
And a candid, shocking interview featuring Prince Harry and Meghan Markle could mean trouble for the royal family. That and more on Trending Topics after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back. There is yet another streaming service you need to add to your list of subscriptions.
This week, Viacom CBS launched its new streaming service, Paramount Plus. The rebranded service will have a ton of content from Viacom CBS's biggest brands. This includes TV shows and movies from Paramount Pictures, CBS, Nickelodeon, and MTV, as well as live sports and news.
Paramount Plus is available for $4.99 per month with ads and $9.99 per month without ads. The $4.99 version launches in June.
And actor and comedian Eddie Murphy announced his plans to return to stand-up comedy.
While on SiriusXM's podcast Comedy Gold Mines with Kevin Hart, Murphy said he plans to do stand-up again after the pandemic when COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. That announcement comes after Coming to America, a sequel to the original 1998 Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy, debuted on Amazon Prime Video this weekend.
Coming to America is one of the several blockbusters that Eddie Murphy has starred in, including Beverly Hills Cop and Shrek.
Plus, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle broke their silence about living in the royal family. Oprah conducted the stunning interview that captured 17 million viewers.
The 2-hour interview shed light on the discrimination and emotional toll the couple has faced. Meghan said she felt shunned by the royal family because of her race. During the interview, she said, "I just didn't want to be alive anymore." And that was a very clear and real and frightening constant thought. She said she felt isolated and suffered poor mental health and that the royal palace never stepped in to help. There were also concerns about what color their child's skin would be. Another surprising claim surfaced when the couple was told that their son would not be given the title as prince for unspoken reasons. Even more, the Duchess of Sussex said that their son would not be given any security detail.
Buckingham Palace has not officially responded to the interview's allegations, so it will be very interesting to see how the royal family members react to these claims soon.
Finally, there is the most perfect feel-good story this week.
The Royal Thai Navy rescued passengers from a sinking vessel, and those passengers happened to be four-legged and furry. The boat was on fire, and all of the crew had been rescued except for the small litter. Sailors spotted the cats when they went to look for potential oil spills from the sunken ship. One of the sailors swam almost 50 feet to the boat to rescue them. Images of the sailor carrying the 4 cats on his back and bringing them to safety has gone viral.
The Navy posted heartfelt videos of the soldiers playing with the furry felines after. Now, this is the kind of friendship the world needs right now. And that's what's up this week. Tune in next week for more local and entertainment news.
Be sure to follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IUS TV News. For What's Up Weekly, I'm Noelle Friel.
And I'm Anna Black. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.